After a long and tough election season, the numbers are in. Hello and thanks for joining us. I'm Alexandra Renslow.
And I'm Mike Johnson. The voters turned out in high numbers to cast their ballots in several local races. And we begin our coverage with a race that the entire state was watching.
And that one, Republican Eric Paulson fought to keep his seat in Congress over Democratic challenger Terry Bonoff. Millions of dollars went into this campaign, but Eric Paulson pulled away from Bonoff. He had 57% of the vote. Bonoff had 43%. In Plymouth and Minnetonka, a closely watched state Senate race turned into an extremely close race.
Paul Anderson appears to be the winner over Deb Calvert in Senate District 44. With Anderson in the lead, there was less than 0.5% vote difference here, and that's out of 50,000 votes that were cast. They were running to fill the seat currently held by Terry Bonoff, and there were expectations that this would be a nail-biter, and as it was, only 201 votes separate the two. Early Tuesday evening, we talked to Calvert about her campaign.
I promised them that I would put people first and the partisan politics last. And so it's absolutely the number one thing that we need to do to get any good legislation passed right now.
Less than 1,000 votes separated the two candidates in the race for Senate District 36, but incumbent DFLer John Hoffman will keep his seat. He held off Brooklyn Park Mayor Jeffrey Lundy with 51% of the vote. Hoffman says with a district that is almost equally divided between Democrats and Republicans, being bipartisan is what people expect.
In our area, the Osseo School District and Elk Hennepin School District, you know, when you look at the bills that I carried the first 4 years, 76% of them were bipartisan. That's what people expect up here, and that's how our district has always looked, and that's why it is a 50-50 district.
And in House District 36B, Democrat and Deputy Minority Leader Melissa Hortman will keep the seat that she has held since 2004. It'll be her 7th term in the Minnesota House. She defeated Brooklyn Park City Councilman Peter Crema with 55% of the vote. And Brooklyn Park City Council will have a few new faces, including one that will be appointed and sworn in within days.
That's right. Susan Pa defeated Amy Hansen with 56% of the vote in the West Ward. Susan Pa will be the first minority member to serve on City Council in the history of Brooklyn Park. Since the previous City Council member John Jordan gave up the seat when he moved out of the city, Susan Pa will be appointed and then sworn in on Monday to finish the term of John Jordan. Community activist Lisa Jacobson won over Reva Chambliss in the East District. Incumbent Peter Crema decided to run for state legislature instead. And Jacobson says people told her they want more opportunities in the city.
But people want more choices in restaurants, in retail. We want more to do here in Brooklyn Park. We have a lot of amazing residents, and so we want to be able to spend our money here as well.
Also in Brooklyn Park, former council member Mark Maida will be returning to the council table, taking longtime incumbent Mike Trepanier's seat. He defeated James Jackson with 52% of the vote.
In a tough mayoral race in Crystal, incumbent Mayor Jim Adams will keep his job.
Adams got 55% of the vote over challenger and former Mayor Renee Bowman. Earlier this evening, reporter Eric Nelson spoke with Adams.
We stayed focused on what our goals were, you know, what our record was. We just stuck to our message. We didn't do any of what we saw at the national level, any bashing or anything like that. We wanted to keep it as clean and about the issues.
And you want Crystal to be debt-free moving forward, don't you?
Yes, I do. We are looking to really start moving that way after next year. We're going to buy down debt. We've already bought some debt down, but next year is probably going to be the last time, if I have much to say about it, that will actually, you know, create a new bond, and that's for our street reconstruction.
Also in Crystal, political newcomer Nancy LaRoche won over another political newbie, Therese Kaiser. Former City Council member John Budaszewski will return to the council table, getting 53% of the vote over incumbent Casey Peak. And finally, in Ward 4, Julie Deschler will easily keep her seat. She is re-elected once again over Jeffrey Munson.
In Maple Grove, a political newcomer grabbed the highest number of votes. Voters elected 2 people to the city council there, and Christy Barnett was at the top of a pack of 6 with 23% of the vote. Barnett was one of the few candidates with a website, and she credits that as one of the reasons she stood out from the rest of the pack.
With early voting, the website became key because people were looking to get information earlier than we were giving it to them. And so they were able to get it through my website and my Facebook profile.
And incumbent Judy Hansen will return to the council. She received 18% of the vote.
In Plymouth, incumbent city council members will keep their seats and add one new face to the council. Jim Willis defeated Nick Rail with 61% of the vote. In Ward 1, Judy Johnson ran unopposed. And in Ward 3, Jim Davis will join the council for the first time. Davis received 58% of the vote, winning over Scott Aldrich. Davis says he will push Plymouth to remain friendly for business.
If the burden is too onerous for business to start up, they go elsewhere. So I want to work on making sure that the business environment is very friendly.
Now back to the state races, and one of the longest serving Minnesota House members will keep his seat to serve a little bit longer. DFL member Lyndon Carlson won over Richard Lieberman with 56% of the vote. Carlson was first elected to the state house in 1972. This will be his 23rd term.
And as we go to break, we will take a look at some of the other races we are focusing on in the Northwest Metro. We'll be right back.
In other news now, criminal charges have been filed against a teenager for his role in a violent robbery of an elderly man outside the Brooklyn Center Cub Food store last July. Police also say a second suspect who carried out the assault is still on the run. According to the criminal complaint, the 85-year-old victim was sitting in his car waiting for his wife to finish shopping when a man got into the passenger seat and began punching him repeatedly in the face. The robber took the victim's wallet and keys. Police later arrested a teenager who was accused of using one of the victim's credit cards. Star Tribune reports the teen was ordered to stand trial as an adult. Police say the teen has refused to cooperate and won't help identify the second suspect who carried out the assault. Federal guidelines recommend that children should have an hour of physical activity every day.
And the neighborhood playground is an easy place for kids to get their daily dose of exercise, but that can be difficult if the playground isn't designed to include all kids. In today's Health Check, Delane Cleveland looks at the importance of inclusive playgrounds.
So when you have good weather, you want to be out at the park.
The local playground is a perfect place for a kid to burn off energy while having a little fun in the process.
I think it's great. I think it's a wonderful park.
Julie Perella brought her 4-year-old daughter to Northwood Park. Oh! And aside from the various amenities like a zip line, there's something else that impressed her.
It actually looks like it has a lot of things for a wide range of age groups. So you could come here with little kids, but big kids, it looks like there's enough for them to do as well.
It's not just various age groups that can enjoy it. The playground also has elements of accessibility, from bucket seat swings to so-called cozy domes designed for kids on the autism spectrum.
It's really been about a 10-year movement.
Scott Rushy is the director of design for Landscape Structures, a Minnesota-based playground manufacturer.
We really do try and strive to make sure that there's levels of the inclusive aspect in everything that we do.
Northwood Park has some inclusive elements, but for a park that's truly designed for kids of all abilities, Maple Grove's Central Park is a prime example.
The way this entire playground was designed and the way everything is sloping and creating entrances throughout the playground space, yeah, it's stroller friendly, it's mobility device, wheelchair friendly.
Central Park is one of more than a dozen parks in the Twin Cities designed to be barrier-free.
Fortunately, the industry as a whole is really moving in that direction.
That said, Landscape Structures released a poll this fall showing that only 1 in 6 families in the U.S. has access to an inclusive playground in their neighborhood.
So there's definitely room for growth in creating more inclusive play.
Rushy and his company are a part of that growth, with the ultimate goal of creating playgrounds where kids of all abilities can expand empathy and friendships.
This is good. It's encouraging.
For Health Check, Delane Cleveland, 12 News.
Coming up, perhaps the perfect way to cap off this election.
But first, we catch up with the Heritage Christian Academy volleyball team as they prepare for a return trip to the state tournament. John Jacobson has that and more next in sports. A lot of excitement in St. Paul this week with the state volleyball tournament getting going. We've got a few local teams. It's got to be exciting.
2 teams in 3A and 1 here in 1A that we're going to talk about today. The state volleyball tournament does take over the XL Center in downtown St. Paul Thursday through Saturday. As Jay Wilcox reports, one of the area's smallest schools, Heritage Christian Academy, is back in the Class A field.
Last year was a breakthrough year for the Heritage Christian Academy volleyball team as they became the first team in any sport at the Maple Grove School to qualify for the state tournament. It's no less thrilling the second time around.
Super exciting, super pumped to be back, especially with the 3 captains, and we're going to make a lot more memories second time around.
I think if anything we're more excited to go a second time, because to go once is awesome, but to go a second time in a row and the second time is just incredible, and we're all so excited, we're all so blessed, so we're really pumped.
Oh, it's very special to get back there again. Having been there last year, it was just a great experience for the team, and I think it just created a hunger to get back there for those who were on the team last year.
The Eagles advanced with a sweep of Nova Classical in the Section 4A title match.
I was really impressed and proud of us. We're all doing our jobs to the best of our abilities, and it was just really fun to play high-level volleyball and come out with a W.
Heritage received the 4th seed for the state tournament, and they meet Underwood in the quarterfinals.
We played them once at the Class A showcase earlier this year, and they're a strong team. I mean, we did end up beating them, but they're a very strong team. We have a lot of respect for them, so we're going to have to bring our A game.
A schedule that included several much bigger schools has the Eagles ready for elite competition at the state tournament. Jay Wilcox, 12 Sports.
Underwood and Heritage meet in the Class A quarterfinals Thursday at 1 o'clock at the XL Center. State tournament gets underway with the 3A quarterfinals on Thursday morning. One local player whose team will be there received a big honor today. For the second straight season, Champlin Park senior number 2 Sydney Hilly has been named Metro Player of the Year by the Star Tribune. The Rebels' outside hitter has racked up 555 kills this season for the second-ranked Rebels. Hilly was named first-team All-American last week. Joining Hilly on the first team is Osseo senior number 7 Tina Bowe. The Orioles' middle hitter finished the season second in the state in blocks, and she recorded 381 kills for an Osseo team that lost just 3 matches all season. And number 9, Kate Berg of Wayzata, earned second-team All-Metro honors. Berg led the Trojans in kills and will play next season at Minnesota Duluth. It was a great year for the Maple Grove boys cross-country team. The Crimson finished third at the state meet over the weekend, the best finish in school history. On this week's Sports Jam show on Channel 12, Jason Malillo profiles Crimson senior runner Alex Miley. Here's a clip from that story.
The Crimson senior won the Northwest Suburban Conference meet and Section 5AA meet for the second year in a row and went into the state meet as the #1 ranked runner in the state.
I sit back a little more. I'm a little more conservative, and pacing wise, and I usually the second mile I try to stay mentally tough and pass the guys that are faltering a little bit. But I mean, through the times that I've been racing, my coaches have definitely helped me with that. Getting used to my role, just like as the team, but also as a runner, I need to understand how to run and what suits me best.
Miley has run for MG since 8th grade. He made the state meet for the first time as a sophomore, and last fall as a junior took 7th place.
You can see the rest of the Alex Miley story and more this week on Sports Jam. It airs through Wednesday on Channel 12 and our HD channel 799. And that's a look at sports for today.
All right, thanks a lot, John. And still ahead, one way to unite after the election.
We head to Maple Grove to find out how next.
And finally, if this polarizing and draining election cycle has made you want a cold one, then we have the perfect spot for you.
Well, tonight, the Omni Brewing Company in Maple Grove is selling first beers for $3 to anyone wearing an I voted sticker. This also includes absentee voters. Omni's goal is to take the focus off the nonstop election news.
We're curious to see, how many people will come out and maybe as a distraction from 24/7 coverage as has been over the last weeks and months, but we hope people can relax and just enjoy and remember that we have more in common with the guy next to us than we have not in common.
Well said. Omni will be selling a special beer as well. It's called Unite, and the folks at Omni hope it will help in the post-election healing process.
We're bringing back Unite, which is our anniversary beer, which is really all about coming together and in the spirit of unity, despite however divisive politics can be.
And here's hoping that this beer special brings people together again. And as you said,
cheers.
Why not?
That's right.
That'll do it. That's it for now. Thanks for joining us, everyone.
We will see you back here again tomorrow, starting at 4 o'clock.